So here, this build is built around Phoenix Fleet Airship. This is a 4-mana vehicle, 4/4 flyer, crew 1. At the beginning of your instep, if you've sacked a permanent this turn, create a token that's a copy of this vehicle. Now, this ability stays on the tokens. So when this comes down, you in this deck, you'll basically have always sacked a permanent. You'll get 2. The next turn, you'll have 4. And the next turn, you'll have 8. And this also says as long as you have 8 more airships, this is they become artifact creatures. So you don't even need to crew them anymore. So pulling back a little bit, for a long time I've been kind of interested in this shell, a shell that's playing 4 Greedy Freebooters, 4 Shambling Ghast, the 1-mana black creatures that when they die make a treasure. So that you can go turn 1 play one of these, turn 2 play Phyrexian Tower, sack it. You have access to 4 mana, one from your swamp, 2 from the tower, and 1 from the treasure token. And this 4 mana kind of had nowhere to go, but now goes super well into Phoenix Fleet Airship to just immediately have two bodies, and then next turn, and just going to take over the game and kill your opponent really quickly. And then you get some redundancy to this effect with Beseech the Mirror. However, you can't turn 2 Beseech the Mirror for Phoenix Fleet Airship because you're not going to have anything to sacrifice. But you have a lot of things to sacrifice in the deck. You have treasure tokens, you have the Bowmaster Orc Army, you've got the Overlord, I guess technically Necro also you can sack. But it just gives a little bit of redundancy to the overall plan. You can even go like turn 2 Bowmaster, untap, sack Bowmaster to tower, then Beseech the token, get a turn 3 Airship. So these also trigger off of just sacking the fetch lands. I do think Flare of Malice is a really good addition here, where it kills some of the bigger problematic creatures like Quantum Riddler and Titan right now, while also giving you extra ways to get the treasure tokens without drawing the tower, which is something I was a bit worried about here. So good suggestion. Very light splash in the sideboard for red. Slaughter Games is like the best. This is like the best anti-Belcher hate. Maybe they'll just counter the Beseech instead. But also, like, you're really good at casting this just if you draw it with the same Phyrexian Tower treasure token plan. And so I think I'm wanting to bring this in against like mostly Belcher. Also like Neoform is a matchup you want to bring it in against. You'll probably technically bring it in if like against Titan, although you're going to be beseeching for Ashiok, not Titan. Also Shadowstorm for affinity as far as the splash goes. This deck is also playing 1 Living End to tutor up off Beseech to like wipe the board. I think in some situations you're going to want to get Necro over Airship. I think the first Necro is just kind of fine to have, even if it turns off these treasure token generators. I think the first copy's fine. We might be able to build an Airship build that's more in on Necro also. I think you could also build an Airship deck that's more of just a fair mid-range deck, but I kind of wanted to just maximize the card for the first build. Really excited about this one. Such a an incredibly unique card. Like when I read this, I like really expected the tokens to not gain the ability to make more airships as turns go on, but that is not the case. I've not played against Belcher Neoform for a while, Moto. We played against Belcher at least once yesterday, and I had been playing against Neoform. Would a 1 of Shielded be good? I don't think so. I think we're so congested on 4s. It could be good. They also have a lot of treasure tokens, so they're easier splashes too. Not a great hand. We're already on a mulligan, though. I'm going to go to 5. Go to 4? Oop. Not a good sign. Okay, I'm just going to mull to 3. I'm going to keep all swamps. And then just try to see what they're playing, and then we'll sideboard probably without playing this game. What's the reason behind 6 discard spells? I wanted to go a little bit higher on the discard spells because we need to slow the game down for the Phoenix Fleet Airships to take over. Okay, so we're up against Boros. Can just move on. And then try our new sideboard tech. Maybe I just want to play 1 Living End if I have the ritual now. Let's actually just do that. Jeff the 54, have a good day too, homie. Welcome back. Yeah, we had 5 swamps in the deck. Our hand was 4 of them. We play Beseech a server, but Oof isn't terrible on the board. I feel like you'd almost never, like against Belcher, you get Slaughter Games. Like, what would you get Oof against? Maybe run 6, 7 discard spells? I mean, I have 6. Oh, we're doing the 6/7 BMIC. Sorry for engaging. Even living one game one that hopeless. I mean, we bowled to 3 on the draw. It's not that it's hopeless. We're not literally 0%, but we, like my opponent commented, never know what's aborted. We conceded not because we're giving up. We're trying to give ourselves higher win percentage in the match. Like, look, we got to sideboard really effectively, and they don't know what the hell we're playing. In my opinion, Overlord is not good in this deck. So my thoughts on Overlord is that the main thing I really like about it is it gives you a second powerful thing to ramp into with the Phyrexian Tower, Greedy Freebooter stuff, or a third thing if you count Beseech. And it's also something you can sack to Beseech if you impending at turn 2. So while the stuff you're getting back is not that good, I agree, it's still like a powerful creature to ramp into off the stuff while also being a cheap thing to sack to Beseech, which is why I think it does fit the curve kind of well. But I can see why you think it's not good. But it's on a Multi 6. I'm going to lead on the Surveil here. And then also, like, with the Overlord plan, so you go impending turn 2, and then you can go Beseech, sack Overlord, get Living End, and then that brings the Overlord back. That tends to be a pretty powerful line. Think Surveils were a good addition to Modern. Yeah, I enjoy the gameplay with them a lot and how they reduce variance. I do think that they would have been better for Modern if they were Scries instead of Surveils, because I think when like Atraxa or Flage just randomly hit the graveyard, I usually think that that's a negative, but overall, fine. Why been the Damnation? Well, we have 2 lands and our overall mana value of the hand is really high. We really need lands, right? I feel like it's an easy bin there, to be honest. So next turn we could maybe Living In, get this Overlord in play and the Shambling Ghast. If my opponent... Okay, so they're trying to bait the Galvanic Discharge. I'll just take 1, I think. Seems like we should probably just start getting the airships down since our opponent's not doing a lot. I'm gonna not attack, so if they discharge the Bowmaster in a turn, I can still crew an airship and block the guide, maybe? Though maybe I don't want to block the guide because it'll die to another discharge. How did the Ashai Landfall deck feel? We didn't. So I know you see 13 decks in the box field. We have not played the Landfall one. We've played the Devotion one. Avatar has been out for like 20 hours. You've been streaming 6 of them. You can't play 13 decks in 6 hours. But the Devotion deck felt good. Cub was good and promising, and I'm optimistic for the card going forward for sure. Opponent's not a reader, I guess. Yeah, I know that's why I tried to do my best to explain. I was thinking something like Marionette over the discard spells makes more Overlord hits, can swing life more, and go with Besiege deck fodder. I just think for me, like the Living Ends, I don't know. I think I like Overlord more, but it wouldn't be the worst. I do think that there's a Soul Trader. You can play Soul Trader Airship, I think. So that's gonna be maybe the next version of this we play. Okay, so going to game 3 after 2 non-games, kind of. Phoenix Airship Voice of Victory is kind of a combo, just so they could never like removal spell the creature. Yeah, I do. Yeah, so yeah, with Airship, I think you could be Soul Trader. You could maybe be like Mono Black K command, although you don't get to play a lot of fetch lands, which is tough. And then like black white, so you can play Ocelot Pride with Airship, could be interesting too. So so this is not the only version of the deck, but it's definitely like maybe you have the Turtus, which are cool, and it's just a fun show in general. What, Deadly Dispute instead of the Overlord? I think I'm gonna keep Overlord. I'm not really interested in cutting Overlord, but like I think structurally, if you're playing the Phyrexian Tower little creature stuff, it's very important to have another big thing to ramp into, and not just the 4 things. I think structurally in this version, the Overlords are not like really negotiable to me. And I'd be more interested in maybe making Overlord more powerful instead of just trying to cut them. Don't love the double gas with no tower, but I also like this would be a great 5-card hand. So let's keep. Okay. Interesting draw. Let's take the Ajani, because we've got the Trespasser for the Flage. Not going to play the second Shambling Ghast. There's like a pretty high chance if they drew the land for Flage that they're going to kill this with the ping. What about Hexmage with Overlord? You could play Hexmage with the Overlord. I don't know if you want to play Hexmage in this deck exactly. We have played those two cards together, and it's like, it's fine to play those two cards together for sure. So I think I've just bottomed that and then surveil. Maybe I should have surveilled first. Another Beseech. I think we'll just graveyard. Yeah, keeping the land. Maybe we should have kept the land because we needed it for the Beseech. Not in terrible shape though. Their hand is Wear Tear, Bombardment, 2 mystery cards. So these are kind of like two of the worst cards they could have had. Well, the other card was a Marsh, or one of their other cards was a Marsh Flats here. So this turn we get to play the Airship. Do I exile my Freebooter from the yard? Is there a mono black Devotion shell with Nykthos to accelerate take advantage of Airships? Possibly. Or you could also potentially play a Coffer shell instead. Typically Coffers is better than Nykthos. Although I guess maybe we don't want to play the Airship into the Wear Tear, huh? Opponent is thinking. Bombardments. I know they had 2 bombardments, so they have 1 bombardment, 1 Wear Tear. Yeah, I think I will end up exiling the Freebooter. I don't think bringing it back to live again matters as much as just draining them for 1 here. What are they thinking so much about? Galvanic Discharge doesn't do anything. Thraben Charm doesn't do anything. They might be thinking about killing my treasure token. But again, I don't want to play the Airship into the Wear Tear. I think. Yeah, I don't think so. This is crazy tank. Purge? I mean, maybe they have Purge. I feel like they almost definitely would have played it first. But I guess that is like one of the only cards they could even be like thinking anything about here. So maybe. So they keep a card on top. Maybe an Ajani, maybe a Flage, although Flage... I guess Flage could kill this. Spyro makes a lot of sense. Maybe they'll discard the Wear Tear and my Airships can start taking over. They did discard the 2 known cards, so three fresh ones over there. Just saw the Badgermole Urza Saga interaction. How good, bad is it? It seems like completely irrelevant, honestly. The more I think about it, the less I feel like it seems like it's going to ever do anything in this format. It's like, okay, we can also Beseech for something, but I think I just want to get the Airship down this turn, honestly, before they could even have another Wear Tear. Time to, and then like maybe make them commit more into like a sweeper. Time to shine. $5 for the rest of life. Let's go. It's like Ridden 6 recurring Urza Saga is like really uninteresting and modern in 2025. That's not a dynamic that has had almost any impact in this format in a long time. Cub on Urza Saga is like, I just kind of fail to see like a matchup or a situation where this is an interesting thing to do, you know. All right, let's see what they discard to the Trespasser. They discard a Strand. Maybe I should have crewed here. It's like Badger Mole on a fetch land seems to be like a lot more interesting than Badger Mole on an Urza Saga, because you just get the value immediately, and like, I don't know. Do I kill the Ragavan? Doesn't seem like the Ragavan's doing a lot. And if I kill the Ragavan, they're gonna sack it on the Freebooter, which they can kind of do at any time. So I'm gonna make the treasure, I guess. Personally, I think Cub is incredibly overrated. Well, I agree to some extent that Cub is like the kind of card that like um sorry, I saw her to walk and talk. Um Cub is the kind of card that like is gonna be stronger in standard than in modern, despite I think it's an interesting modern card. I agree that it's gonna be better in standard than in modern. Um what am I tutoring here? Do I get another airship? Probably not. I think I just hardcasted Overlord and pass. I will say our league with Cub yesterday, Cub looked better than I expected it to look. I wasn't expecting it to perform as well as it did, and it is a card that can just give card advantage if you target a fetch land. So you kind of have the option to play it as a bit of a more resilient card that's like a must kill, which I like. But I don't think that the card is going to end up being like a modern staple. GRC the 39, thank you. Welcome back. So we're likely going to end up pushing the Ragavan, but let's do that after the attack to play around second Ragavan. But the airships should be online next turn. Remember, once you have 8 of them, they're just creatures. I could maybe also, like, Beseech for Culling Ritual next turn. So I'm down to 14, then down to 12, effectively 11, I guess. They have 1 card in their hand only. Beseech for Culling Ritual seems fine. Is there a better play? That seems fine. We can't like cast the Trespasser or anything, but like I just really want to get this bombardment off the field. Wait, they sacked the Seasoned Pyromancer? Now the Earth Kingdom will burn. The Earth Kingdom will burn. Sozin's Comet is here. Right, GG's. Opponent letting me attack with my Phoenix fleet. So incredibly based. Cool. Cool. I'm glad we gave this one a little touch up and then a second league. Yeah, Maelstrom Pulse would be funny. I usually find tokens to be a bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest. Alright, let's keep this. We draw a 1 mana treasure generator. We can go Thoughtseize, turn 1 into turn 2 Necro, which is cool. So, they build a 6, then they play a Strand. Could maybe now go Bowmaster into Beseech for Airship on turn 3. Okay, 3rd Boros opponent in a row, although they are at least a somewhat interesting version of Boros playing Felia, which I guess I'll take. Wait, or maybe are they just they're just Jeskai, sorry. They're just Jeskai. Although Jeskai doesn't usually play Discharge. You can't use... Wait. They don't have Airship tokens? I assume that's what the question was. Yeah, I would not have actual copies of Airship in my sideboard. Wait, has Jeskai been playing Discharge? Don't think they have. Okay, well, Drew the Living End's kind of dead. They are too? Okay, interesting. Yeah, I feel like Bolt would be better if they're only playing 2 with no other energy cards. Discharge pumps Wrath. Yeah, but that's like, they don't main deck Wrath, right? Okay, they're main deck Wrath. I guess I haven't kept up with the Jeskai list, or I've just been wrong. Sometimes yes, I guess so. So they don't play the Flage. Their hand is this is 3 of their 4 cards here. Does seem like a good matchup to be going for the Airships. We can't go for airship this turn if they kill my Bowmaster, though. Domain Deck Wrath, Main Wrath. I guess so. I guess I'm just like, I don't know if this is new, but I didn't think that they did. No, I just drew an airship, so now I don't care if they discharge one of my things. They're going Ragavan less with 2 Wrath. Yeah, I thought they were just on Ragavan and not Wrath. I feel like this card is gonna be really good against them. Yeah, Fable could be good here, yeah. Copying the airship token is kind of interesting too, because you should get the trigger end of turn. Shouldn't be that relevant, I guess. So there's Arena Flage mystery card, and then they have a Surveil too. They put a Flage in the yard. Why me, dude? So annoying. Well, I guess I'm at 5 life. I was in such good shape. Alright, down to 5. It's a problem that I have the living end in my hand, too. Oh, sorry. I should have accrued an attack, huh? Can I undo? No. So I have to get Flare of Malice, right? Because when I drew my living end. Living end would be way better here. I would get Bowmaster and Freebooter back. So they have another Flage and they can put me to 2. We do have 3 Cling to Dust in the deck. The Necro's gonna be kind of dead. Hand is unfortunately pretty bad. That's we could try to kill him pretty quick. So if they're passing here, we could be worried that they have Ephemerate and they're trying to go Flage Ephemerate next turn. Let me Surveil real quick. I can't beat Flage Ephemerate at this point anymore. How important is it that I attack for 8 this turn? Probably fine. Kind of bad against Solitude Ephemerate, I guess. Though I guess also gaining 8 life wouldn't be the worst here. Yeah, I guess they could also have top deck Consign, and they could consign their Flage Evoke, and then kill me with Arena of Glory. Velia would get us. Yeah. So it's not Consign, but yeah, I think they drew Ephemerate. Yeah. Bummer, that Flage surveilled the yard. We went from like, I think if they just don't do exactly that, we're in such good shape that game, unfortunately. Let's bring in the Trespassers. The Flare should be kind of nice, also disrupting Riddler. Dreams is probably better than Thoughtseize for the most part. I kind of probably want to keep all of them in if I can. Necro could be slow. If Necro's slow here, maybe it shouldn't be in the deck. Also bringing in a lot of 3s, kind of awkward. I'm going to cut the Living End, I think. Seems kind of bad to be going for Beseech Living End against Teferi. Probably just cut... Maybe I just want to go down 2 Beseech against the Teferi deck in general. Fatal Push also not bad. Although if they're playing Wrath Disguise, they're maybe playing no Ragavans. They at least have Felia. Could play 1 Fatal Push. Felia is a little bit of a pain in the ass. Play 1. Yeah, I mean, Ragavan's like so irrelevant though with all of these. I think 1 push for Felia is fine though. Maybe you could play 2. Maybe second on the draw makes more sense. Spelly is probably tougher on the draw. We also have Flare of Malice too. I'm gonna keep this. Turn 3 Overlord. Turn 2 Bowmaster. Can also just draw an Airship and turn 2 Airship. Did I like it used every history ruler? Yeah, we died to a lot of stuff with the Airship attack. We could have beat the Ephemerate, but we could have played around Felia in hand and top decked Riddler, that's true. We are playing an Urborg, yeah. Ragavan. Dang. Prismatic Ending, kind of annoying here. Not gonna Flare of Malice for the treasure, though. I've ever registered all 8 of these one jobs before. I definitely have off stream. I don't know if I have on stream. Sometimes these things blur together. Third tower, kind of awkward. I'm just gonna main phase this. Might be a shorter game too. Oh yeah, we just did yesterday the ad nauseam deck. It just blurs together because I definitely have messed around with this package a good bit off stream. Yeah, this should be Tron, right? Have I played with Disciple of Freyalise with the Cub yet? Feels like if it's the Devotion fun. Could be good. I'm not the biggest Disciple of Freyalise fan in general. It does seem kind of interesting. You would pairing with Sylvan Safekeeper is cool. The thing is, you probably won't have much to sack besides the Cub in those kind of situations, and you almost definitely won't have anything that's good to sack. Save me, Hardcast Overlord. Sacking a decently Earthbent or Nissa land seems fine. Well, this is the thing. You can't just like assume you're gonna have a Nissa in play, right? for Cub to be good. All right, so do I Flare of Malice to play around Ephemerate? It seems like they are very likely to have Ephemerate here. And what I kind of like about the Flare of Malice here is if they do have Ephemerate, they're not going to Ephemerate the Solitude just to get rid of the Orc army, which means that I can hardcast the Overlord next turn. So a bit weird, but I think that was a fine play. Could have played this untapped and then been able to hardcast the Flare, so we could have got the Ephemerate out of their hand that way, though. Yeah, I agree. Close to a million% chance they have Ephemerate in their hand. Yeah, maybe also Consign. That could make sense. Can't quite get Arena of Glory here. Unless I guess they have Sol too. White card Arena of Glory Flage. That would work. Discard a Consign, discard a Strand. If they attack with the Shaman, blocking is pretty bad against Flage. We haven't played any of the other Cub decks yet. I do want to play another Cub deck today. I don't know what we're playing next. We have a lot of options. I want to play the Azula deck, but maybe it's not a priority today. Oh, an Ashiok. Weird. So I could go. Could get kind of fancy here, I guess. Because I can go. Excuse. I can go cast Bowmaster. Cast Bowmaster like this. Then play Thoughtseize first off the crypt or whatever. Thoughtseize, Bowmaster, attack with this trigger on the stack, sack the Bowmaster and replay it, kill the Shaman token, kill the Ashiok. Seems good. They mill 2 Riddlers with the Ashiok. They don't have Consign up. I'm going to play around Consign, take the Force, I guess. What about Wang Shitong, just get control of Path, Phantom, 8 Wildfire? I have a blue-white build that's playing like one Path and Field of Ruin and Phantom. You could do that. I think there's a lot of ways you can play it. That's one of them. That's one of them. It's a really weird turn. Cool turn. Yeah, there could be some Flare of Cultivation stuff too. Okay, so response to this trigger, sack the Bowmaster, float 2 mana, return a Bowmaster, replay the Bowmaster, kill the Shaman token, kill the Ashiok. This also stops them from being able to mill themselves looking for Flage again. I think if they had Ephemerate, they would have done it during attacks were consigned. The only way for Solitude to kill both creatures attacks up. I guess that's fair, yeah. So the hand is Consigned Mystery card here. I guess Consign is kind of dangerous for the top deck Flage because they could just Arena of Glory Flage and consign the trigger. They top deck the Quantum Riddler, although we have a Bowmaster in play that can now kill the Reflection, so not really like that big a deal. Necessarily. They could consign these triggers with Replicate, possibly. You could have impeded if you sack main phase instead. Yeah, I mean, it's just better to kill their board, right? Okay, so they don't consign. Seems like they might be prioritizing consigning their Riddler trigger. They gonna Ephemerate the Riddler? They kill my Overlord with a Wear Tear. Yeah, right. So one card in their hand here. So this is going to go to 6/6 next turn. So yeah, I'm just going to get the Bowmaster ping the Riddler here. So that way I can attack for 5 and start trying to race them. Yeah, so down to 10, and then we get to ping them twice in their draw step. Oh, so just once in the draw step, right? This is a trigger on the first draw, of course. So 2 cards in their hand. Obviously. Scared of a lot of stuff. They start off with a Surveil looking for a Flage. They instead been a basic island. No attacks. Unlikely this Dreams of Steel and Oil has a lot of good stuff to get here, right? We could hit like a Graveyard Trespasser, I guess. There's really no creature they can have in there. Oh, there's Chumping. Wow. Wow. Can they have a creature? I guess they could have a Quantum Riddler in their hand. I think with that block, I'm gonna Dreams. I think it kind of makes sense for them to have a Riddler in their hand. Okay, they have 2 lands. Actually, oh, I have to choose something, but I think I would have left if I didn't have to choose something. I think I would have left everything in the yard so that I could Graveyard Trespasser a bit more effectively. I guess there's plenty of juice for Trespasser. Unlikely to really matter. Wiping Riddler instead of them. Last turn was a 5/5. Yeah, Orc is a 5/5. Riddler is a 5. This might be terrifying news. Riddler is a 6 toughness creature for some reason. So we had to ping it to attack. Had to block if you had another Bowmaster, they die. I mean, they don't have to block at that situation. Like, I have 1 card in my hand, right? Or was it 2 cards? Okay, so I can cast a Beseech the Mirror. I could grab another Bowmaster to go for lethal. Seems probably not the wisest. Yeah, we could just get a Graveyard Trespasser second main phase if they have nothing. But wait till they block? I guess so, yeah. They drew a Solitude? It's pretty annoying. So they just have a land in their hand. I might just get another Bowmaster to kill the Solitude. I could get an Airship. Feels worse than just killing the Solitude. I boarded out the Necro. This Necro would have been the move here for sure. Probably a mistake to board it out. I just boarded a bunch of 3-drops was the thing. Could be good. Could be good to just get the Airship and yeah, let's get the Airship, I think. We have the Cling to Dust to try to like at least like find a fetch land or a little thing to sack to the tower each turn. Living in, kill them. I don't want to kill them. They have a okay, maybe what this. So they have double Riddler and we have one Bowmaster. If we had one more Bowmaster, that was kind of an interesting thought. Yeah. Okay, so I could play the Trespasser, and I could sack it to just get the Airship triggered this turn, and I could also attack for 4. I also boarded out the Living End, I think. Do they have a Consign in their hand, I wonder, with this pause? Surely this isn't so... Oh, Strict Serenade. Okay, no response. So this really doesn't matter much, because what we mostly care about is... Yeah, this kind of did nothing, because all I care about is having a creature to Phyrexian Tower so that I can get 2 more Airships. Maybe it's better to be able to block. No, I guess we can't block. We're sacking, though. Okay, so they're down to 10. They're going to be back up to 13 on their turn. We get 2 more Airships. Is 4 Airships that much better than 2 Airships in this deck? So I'm to understand what you're saying that you would rather have only 2 Airships in this deck to Beseech the Mirror for. I think the flaw in the... It's way better to draw Airship than to draw Beseech, because you could just cast it turn 2 and trigger it, which you can't do it with do that with Beseech. No! Twice in the same match? Twice in the same match. I'm just doing so good against anything besides Surveil Flage in the yard. Still a lot of good top decks on. Why no sack the tower 93 lifelink? So I could cast Beseech the Mirror last turn, of course. They're about to see one eventually. Yeah, just when they surveil it and like these critical turrets feels bad. It has been a lot of turns without a Flage, that's true. A lot of good top decks. That's a good top deck. Certainly seems like we have an attack, as these will all be creatures. I mean, on board, you are getting to crew 3 to 4 airships all that often when you're second towers. I don't understand exactly what you're saying. On board, you're getting to crew 3 or 4 airships all that often when you're sacking the crewers. Well, we're trying to get to 8 airships so that these can just be all creatures all the time and completely overwhelm my opponent's board. Maybe that's what you're missing. Okay, so I think I'm going to Cling to Dust a creature from their yard so that I don't die to an Ephemerate or another Flage. But yes, getting more airships is good just to, you know, ignore your opponent's removal. I don't think I'd play a Nightmare in this deck. It just doesn't get back the Phoenix Fleet stuff. But it is kind of cool with the token generators, though, so maybe it could be better than I think. Okay, my Phoenix Fleet has been assembled against the pathetic Modern Horizons cards. Modern Horizons 1, Modern Horizons 2, Modern Horizons 3, Lord of the Rings. The 4... the 4 straight to modern sets lived in perfect harmony till Phoenix Fleet Airship attacked. We didn't see Teferi all game. Maybe they don't have him in against us. Yeah, we could crew an airship. If they had a removal spell, we could crew airships to still block that turn. Ashiok against Flage. I mean, we have Cling to Dust and Graveyard Trespasser. Should be enough. And Dreams of Steel and Oil. That should be enough. Let's get that Necro back in. I think I'm just going to go down a Beseech, though, since I think they just have a lot of cards that are good against Beseech. Maybe I want to cut the last one. Like, they just should have Teferis in the deck. We didn't see Ragavan all game. They do have Felia. I'm kind of scared on the draw of just dying to Felia Riddler. This will be a second push. Mom with the 52. Thank you. Welcome back. I was not a believer in the airships until realizing you could just keep the airships around by crewing. By keep them around, you mean like on the turn where you have 8 and they kill 1? Mom with the 52 again, thank you so much. But they're usually just dead. What's your thoughts for us for 1 Surveil land, 1 Shock land for the splash colors? 2 tap seems too much. Yeah, I didn't want a second tap land. That's kind of it. And also you have the treasure tokens for the splash, and Beseech, so the splash is like really easy. Thoughtseize turn 1 could be good to play around Felia. Maybe save the Dreams of Seal and Oil for a Flage. So now we have an answer to the Felia. I think I'll still Thoughtseize. It's kind of a tough one. Maybe it's not all that tough. I think I take Solitude. I don't think the Consign is doing that much against me. And what we can kind of set up for is next turn they go land pass with Felia up. I play Bowmaster with the intention of pinging the Felia and blocking it to kill it, and then hoping that they play a Flage to kill my Bowmaster second main phase, and I can go Dreams of Steel and Oil, exile the Flage, take another card, and then I take the Solitude to stop them from disrupting that play, although we might not have another card to take because we didn't take the Consign. They can consign the Bowmaster enter. I think that's okay if they do that, right? Because then we just like flare the Felia in response to Flage cast. Could you have taken Flage and Exile Dreams? You could have, but to me it seems like we can set up for a spot where they cast the Flage and then I exile the Flage of Dreams and I take another card. Which is that maybe a little greedy, maybe, but this game looks like I could set up for that spot. Who is my favorite character from Avatar? I think it's gotta be Iroh. Maybe Toph. I love Avatar Phoenix. You have me slandered in the chat saying I haven't seen it. I've seen all of it. Like I've probably seen the whole Avatar Last Airbender like 7 times, to be quite honest. Slandered in my own Twitch chat. So they don't have a third land. Ephemerate Strict Serenade. Wait, they just didn't play a land that turn. What the? Okay. Too locked in. Very weird game. Alright, so this is what we wanted to happen for sure. The rare -1/-1. Then they're going to ephemerate. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on. So maybe somehow they have a. I don't know. I'm gonna play this so I can Flare of Malice a Quantum Riddler in response to ephemerate, but I don't know. The cycling Thoughtseize for Airships never went anywhere. Yeah, maybe one day if Flage ever gets banned, that card is good. But this card X-Lag is so nice. Okay, I guess this makes sense. So the hand is Trick Save, Serenade, Ephemerate. So I think I want to resolve this Bowmaster now. So that they can't Serenade it. You'll like this card. I'm kind of warming up to it. It's kind of nice to just Velia or to ferry the token, right? You know what? I think I don't really want them to get rid of my Orc army. It's kind of weird. I'm just gonna make a treasure. I want the treasure also for top deck airship. Nice that this gets around Ephemerate, of course. All right, let's go ahead and cycle the Cling. Draw a card. Don't know if you saw Dingo's 4-color pie with Aang and Moon Mist. Shit was insane when you flipped it. Well, listen, I'm not worried about Aang being bad when you transform it with Moon Mist. I'm worried about having Aang being like worse than Omnath most of the time, while also having Moon Mist in the deck. Okay, so they found an Ephemerate for the Solitude. Or sorry, Solitude for the Ephemerate, and a Wear Tear to pitch. He did it several times and instantly won the game. Again, it's like when you it's very similar to a Splinter Twin on a Deceiver Exarch. The combo wins you the game, but it's not an effective combo in the format. It's almost identical, right? It's super cool. I wish it was good. It's just if we didn't have so much interesting stuff to do. Oh shoot. I forgot Serenade counters Airship, and they've got the Ephemerate rebound. I guess I'm just gonna accept my mistake and get a tap land, but I get pretty punished for cracking the fetch because I wanted to keep the fetch for more Airships and also for Cottage. We could try to bait the Serenade on the Bowmaster. I would love to be wrong about Aang Moonness too. Like it seems sick. I would love to be wrong, and I hope I am. Why not get untapped for clean? Because I need to save the treasure for the airship. That's more important. And I'm also gonna cast the Bowmaster and then trade the 2/2 for the Solitude. Why not bait the attack? I am baiting the attack by waiting on the Bowmaster. What line did you want me to take that you felt baited the attack? Because that's what I thought I was doing. What if you just run it in like a control shell? I mean, I think that's the only shell you would play it in because it's like a Splinter Twin combo. But yeah, I think I'm okay to just attack with the token and wait so I can get more airships in play first. Missed 2 damage. I think yeah, I was on purpose. Well, I guess it seems like this turn. I guess attacking with 2 of these guys is pretty free. Maybe it was free last turn. Okay, we're 2-0. 2 long matches though, but I'm glad we gave it a second look here. We borrow synergy and Jeskai mid range this league. It's like it is very important that the airship does outgrind these matchups, right? Like you're not going to really want to play this deck if airship just doesn't go way over the top, but it does go over the top here. Okay, good hand. We don't have the airship for the turn 2 necessarily, but we can go like turn 2 maybe Dreams and Impending Overlord. See what we definitely just gonna play the Freebooter turn 1. I think this possibly set up for the top deck ship. I want to play Grave Merchant. I think that card's just way too unimpactful for 5 mana. Require and like 5 mana cards are required to be like really ahead on board or like just non-starters, unfortunately. Oh yeah, that's true. I've seen Belcher play it. Okay, so let's attack first, and then I'm gonna go dream and then Bowmaster off of the tower. Oh, sorry, wrong spell. Grey Merchant drain 6 is a very practical expectation, and not worth 5 mana, but also like when I play a 5 mana card in Modern, I expect it to be on an empty board. Actually, if you're playing a 5 mana card, it's usually because you have interacted, and the board is relatively clear. The game has gone relatively long. Okay, they Force of Negation my dreams. Pitching an Ice Fang. I think I'm just gonna jam the Bowmaster. Hmm. Alright, I'm gonna keep this. Is Nykthos actually a nice one of this deck between Overlords and Airships? Seems like it's only good in situations where you're really ahead. You could maybe play one. Airship is interesting with Nykthos for sure. Has the living end been a good besiege target yet? Not really. Yeah, the Airship tokens make tokens. It's really cool. Okay, let's keep this and then draw it off Cling so we hit our land drop this turn. I think I'm just gonna Impending Overlord. Yeah, I don't really want to use both of my treasures. Doing well, Show. Good to see ya. My opponent might go Ice Fang Flare, which we'd be pretty happy with too. I'm gonna target them. They definitely have Flare. Yeah, I do think okay, they should have let me target the Ice Fang, but I wasn't going to anyways. Yeah, I do think so. There's like 3 other ways I think you can build Airship. This is like kind of the all-in build. It's been going solid. You're gonna play Black White with also Pride. Black White with also Pride. I think that the Beseech Tower stuff also plays well with Soul Trader. You can play Soul Trader combo. You can play also, I think, Mono Black K command. The big problem with Mono Black K command is it's very hard to play a lot of fetch lands and the K commands for the temples for K commands. Although it is possible. All right, no ritual, no ritual, no ritual. They hit an Oracle. Okay, best for us was Ice Fang. We'll definitely take Oracle. All right, they surveil a Harbinger to the yard. Makes sense. 3 cards in their hand after this. I think I'll sack a treasure. Likely gonna get countered. Oh, let's go. Oh my gosh. I almost grabbed Beseech. I guess they just counter whatever we get sometimes too. Vista can get a waste, but you can't have like much redundancy too. Is one problem. I might want to leave this just in play for crewing. Yeah, I think that's probably the case. I think it's gonna be very tough for them to beat the Airship. We'll see. Obviously, we sure hope that's the case. That's the deck. Now they did Force of Negation a Dreams of Steel and Oil, so maybe they have a Oculus here that they're gonna hardcast. Oculus versus Airship is gonna be kind of an interesting dynamic. How is Airship good? The tokens also make copies of themselves. So you get 2, and then you get 4, and then you get 8, and then they're all creatures, and you get 16, so it just takes over the game. So they flip over a Subtlety to the Oracle. Yeah, it's not for Simic to beat anything that resolves. That's true. I guess I'm just gonna block. Yeah, with an Airship. Drac with the 8 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They also trigger off of fetch lands. They trigger off treasure tokens. Even if they have a Dismember here, it's not like really very scary. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're trying to get an extra card in the yard for Oculus either. They just have already 6. They do have Dismember. If they have double Dismember, good for them, I guess. And good for them, and they go to 1. A Flare of Malice. Ice Fang doesn't, I guess Ice Fang also just dies to Bowmaster. Seems like I should probably attack with the Orc Army too here. Yeah, Airship is pretty damn good. So Culling Ritual is our only way to get a Birthing Ritual off the field. That could be important. Yeah, people have been talking about Moon Mist Ink some. I mean, I would love for it to be good. For me, I'm just like a lot more interested in other stuff, but like I don't deny that Moon Misting and Ing is a powerful thing to do, but I think that there's just a lot more interesting stuff to work on, and I don't really see it being competitive. Don't love Trespasser against them. I don't hate it either. Maybe I don't even want these pushes for Oculus. The flares are kind of better. Yeah, I think it's gonna be hard to be in on the living end. Also, having dead draws is tough. Let me just trim dreams too. Where the airship at? They're here. Yeah, I've got to 8 airships a few times. Airships have been good. We were 2-0 this league. It's been good. Alright, if one of these lands was a Phyrexian Tower, I think we'd pretty happily keep. Let's go to 5, or go to 6 rather. Okay, keep this with back a gas probably with no tower again. Alright, definitely try to Thoughtseize away a Birthing Ritual. Wonder if they left in any Harbingers. They see the Bitter Blossom that makes clues instead? Uh, no. You know, a lot of people are like very excited for the new creature Bitter Blossom. Unfortunately, I'm having a hard time getting excited for that one too. All right, well, we'll see if they flare the Overlord. It can be Overlord on turn 2 could just be tough in general, turning into a creature eventually. So playing around Bowmaster. Airship with Metalworks, like Brass Knuckles, but it's a threat with auction clauses. Well, the problem with comparing these to Brass Knuckles, though, Brass Knuckles, you get 2 things immediately, and the fact you get the stuff end of turn means you can't go Airship into Colossus is the problemo. Maybe it's fine. Yeah, Bitter Blossom made 10/10s. I'd be more excited for it. Alright, so we got the Flare. Their hand is Riddler, Catacombs, 3 mystery cards. Boo. Fuck. Ah. Alright, well, Airship will save us. Next turn. But doing Airship and Synthesizer more artifact-based deck, I mean, it seems interesting, but slow. Although Airship, you know, it is in general a pretty slow card. So they're holding up 4 mana instead of playing the Riddler? That can't be right. They're gonna play this Riddler. The new Bitter Blossom creature just have flash. I know, but it's just a 2 mana 1 toughness creature in the freaking Lava Dart format. People are playing Lava Dart again. Maybe there'll be no creatures. I guess we can Fatal Push one of them. I'm gonna fetch now because if they hit a Harbinger, we can push it. And I want to fetch a Surveil anyways. Don't really get punished by this at all. I can't really see anyway, at least. All right, graveyard that for some value. How does Obsessive Pursuit sound in this? I don't remember that being a card I thought was playable in Modern. What does that card do? When it enters, oh, this is the Bitter Blossom. Make a clue at the beginning of your upkeep, and when it enters, make a clue, lose a life. And when you attack, put X counters to target attacking creature, X number of permanents you sacked. Just doesn't seem all. Wait, they didn't let me respond to the other trigger. Did I click yield to all? That would have been a big mistake if so. Thankfully, they just hit that there, I guess. So if we don't have Force blue card as their last 2 cards, do I want a Witch's Cottage Overlord to the top? Not really, I guess. Yeah, I didn't mean I yield. I didn't think I yielded to all. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm not really having the mana to sack to clues here. Seems really slow. Maybe I've also misevaluated that card, but my initial evaluation of that one is that it doesn't seem very good. So they've got two cards in their hand, two Birthing Rituals in play too. Hopefully this is a Beseech you, I guess. 4 mana. Main phase Subtlety. So they were thinking about... I wish they had landed on the decision to hold up the hardcast Subtlety last turn and I played Airship. That would have been such a blowout. So they hit a Riddler off the Subtlety. Am I going to Beseech the Mirror and tutor a fetch land? Never done that before. Yeah, I'm not very interested in this being a Metalwork Colossus shell. I mean, I would love for that to be good, but it doesn't seem very good to me. Yeah, and I think that putting an Overlord on top, it's just kind of asking for me to not be able to get these airships online. Sack airship to get another one. Well, that's bad against a counter spell, but also it's the same number of airships. If I sack airship to get another airship, that it's just worse than getting a fetch land here. It's just worse. So I guess the upside is we would still have sacked an airship, and then we would have two if they counter. It's just the same number of airships. So I don't know. Reminds me of Pross when airship isn't working his card solid play. I mean, maybe for me, I just kind of evaluate it poorly, but could be good. If you put Overlord on top, credit your hardcast in second tower. So their deck plays a million like subtleties and flares and stuff like that. So I have a lot of cards that are much more annoying to flare. Like if I draw a 1 mana creature that I can sack to tower, I can cast it. They like subtlety it to the top, and I can still escape Cling to Dust and cast it again. Or if they counter it, I can escape Cling to Dust and look for a fetch land. So to me, that seems a lot better than keeping Overlord on top, which means I don't ever have a second chance at triggering the airships, right? Also, like if I draw Beseech, I get the guarantee sack even against a counterspell. That's kind of interesting too. Yeah, it gave me the option to bargain, but I just wanted it was just better to get a fetch land there. Also, again, we could just top deck a fetch land, and there's like just nothing they can do about that. Although they have an endurance against my Cling. So now we're hoping. Three cards in their hand. Could have sacked Airship to get Necro. Yeah, maybe, but I just feel like I wanted to try to do my best to play around counter magic. But maybe that was a bad plan. Well, hard casting. Punish for hard casting. We 4-1 with the Badger Shia deck. Do you want to play more Badger Mill and Wang Tong today? These leagues with Phoenix Fleet have been taking longer than expected, though. So they reveal an Oculus to the Oracle. Still have game 3 if we lose this one. Then cast the Oculus. I don't have a Damnation in the deck. Maybe we should. These sideboarding against Ritual is so weird. It feels like typically you just want to resolve to the board. Or you play to the board. Best draw is a fetch land, probably. So I guess we start with a Freebooter so that if they have like a flare, we can use the Overlord to beat that. So the airships are going to trigger. Let's go ahead and card cast this Overlord now that it seems like they don't have counter magic. Or maybe they're saving the counter magic for the Overlord. So if we can live this turn, next turn we get, the airships just keep flooding the board so much each turn. Now my life total is pretty low. We have 8 airships. They're going to all be creatures once the last trigger resolves. Urch with a 29, Ada with the 21. Thank you. Welcome back. I really don't think they can win if we if they don't kill me this turn, unless they have some kind of sweeper, because it's just going to be too many airships for them to possibly keep up with. When I brewed new decks with these cards, do you have a sense for how they'll do, or do you brew and figure it out? I have a sense, but it's important to like still play, even if I, you have to play stuff I think is going to be somewhat good, but stuff will always kind of not, my expectations are almost always different from reality. Wait, which one did I just crew? Guys, how do I know which one I crewed? Stupid Magic Online. I guess I'm gonna guess it's this one. You crewed the one they're targeting? Oh, I didn't mean to if I did that. It's okay, it's impossible to tell which one you've crewed, I think. It's really annoying. How can you let it resolve? I guess I'm still blocking with 4. I should just have 4 airships untapped though, but I guess I also have the 4 untapped. If you hover in the game log so it doesn't, no. Crew them all while they're on the stack. Crew them while they're on the stack. Ah, that's how you should do it. Okay. And then this way you don't mess up like that. Okay, we'll do that. Why do you need to crew? Okay, so when they kill one airship, they're no longer all creatures, but you can crew them with the airships that were creatures, so you have 4 untapped still. Yeah, because once one of them leaves, they're not all creatures anymore. Fun game. So what's our block? We crew this. Can we go double block Oculus? Chump here, block here. We take 4 and we're at 4. So it seems like we have to go chump, block, block, take 3. Opponent fighting through this is crazy. What's funny is like I think us fighting through this is what's crazy. Maybe the game just in general is crazy, but I kind of feel the inverse is that us battling through this is the cool part. Okay, well this is a really bad attack by them, I think. Although it's more true to how the board should have been, I guess. But I get the Oculus off the field, which I think is better than getting the Riddler off the field. Kind of for free. I don't have a black-white version of this deck yet. I want to build Mono Black Eldrazi this, Soul Trader this, or Soul Trader Airfleet, Mono Black Eldrazi Airfleet, and Black-White Ocelot Pride Airfleet. All on the to-do list, especially now that we're having a really solid league with this. Airship is looking really good. Promising enough to like make all these extra explorations for sure. So we have 4 airships only. Maybe I should. I think I'm gonna sack the Freebooter in my upkeep, so that I can try to find something good. And this seems good. I think we might as well attack with the Overlord too. We find a Bowmaster, which is really nice because this is going to allow us to kill the Ice Fang, have 2 extra ground blockers, and then killing an Ice Fang means that it's just like 1 more airship for us. Okay. So that's their last 2 cards. I don't think we're dead. We have 10 airships. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attackers. Yeah, we should be alive for sure. I'm going to keep that on top, I guess. Seems certainly better than the average draw. I can also maybe play it twice off the tower. And they go ahead and they chump block an Overlord, which is interesting. Oh, they're going to kill the Overlord, sure. Oh, they're not. Opponent's not really confident on any of their blocks, it seems. Very happy to trade for an Ice Fang. Alright, so now I've got 10 airships. When I was a tournament grinder and still bringing a lot of decks, or were you still bringing a lot of decks for the start when I was streaming? It started a little bit before streaming. I always enjoyed brewing, but mostly I would just take a deck and like play it and tune it. And I would always like tweak everything I played, but I was not nearly as much of a brewer. But also like Modern Horizons 1 coming out was a great time to start being a modern brewer. This is one of the best games I played this year, I think. This game has been so cool. Just literally Airship just soloing this whole ass modern deck is so cool. Just a single 4 mana creature is just like yeah, the amount of power and toughness it's accumulated is unbelievable. Like they just have to send in. Oh my, and they don't. So that's funny. They keep having to send in and they keep not doing it. Not playing Rumble in this build. This is just a splash for Culling Ritual. This is just a splash for Slaughter Games with the ability to also treasure tokens these out or beseech them out. That same bug, I don't remember there's a bug on my window. It's still here. It's like this giant like stink bug. I guess it can hang out. Yeah, it's like the attacks are not getting better for you. Like each airship they don't kill this turn is gonna be another airship next turn. So they know I have Bowmaster. Let me just sack the treasure. This is maybe the most value I've ever gotten from a single treasure token. 10 airships, 40 power in the air. I don't think they're very. Y'all don't see audio anymore? Alright, turn 2 airship plus triggering it. Let's keep. We're on the draw though. Opponent's on a multi 6. Common user recognize their name in the chat. Camera airship. You only get to copy one of the copies is the problemo. Probably will block the Ragavan if they just attack with it. Why couldn't I hit it on the play? Oh yeah, this does kind of look like the Dune scene. I see it. Okay, so we both get a treasure. It seems fair, I guess. Leave that on top because it's a bad hit for Ragavan. It's also playing Voidwalker over Necro. I mean, I wouldn't like one Dothy Voidwalker. Probably I would play another Flare or another Cling to Dust instead. But Voidwalker is okay. I guess I could have double Bowmastered the guide this turn. Maybe that was better. I'm gonna be able to get a Bombardment or I guess, yeah, Thraben Charm too. Is there a reason why there's a delay on my stream compared to other streamers? I don't know. Spyro? Flage, okay. So we can Dreams of Steel and Oil the Flage, I guess. Any card on my sideboard you emphasize for a person. Sorry, my cough has been so bad. Playing Esper Blink in Vegas is Catch a Relic. A card. Hold on. Sorry. Should probably just be focusing on the match instead of building Esper Blink right now. I would mostly recommend not playing Esper Blink is my short answer, I suppose. I don't think that deck's very good. I would recommend Jeskai instead. So it looks like yeah, I think I have to Dreams of Steel and Oil the Flage, right? So yeah, let's go Shambling Ghast, Dreams of Steel and Oil the Flage. Hold up the Bowmaster. Hope they top deck a Seasoned Pyromancer, I guess. Next turn, the Airship can check the Guide of Souls. So we're down to 5 life points. want to sack the token so I can get another token, because each individual creature matters so much, I think, this game here. Okay, an interesting pickup. Let's attack with everything. No. We need 2 crewers, right? So let's have our Bowmaster be our crew. Oh, you know what? Sorry, we should have sacked the token, so this could have been a creature for flare. We still have the Bowmasters if we need to flare, like in a Johnny. Let the airship invasion begin. What's the one living in for? You just Beseech for it. It's like really good to like sack Overlord, get living off Beseech, and then you bring back the Overlord. Has not come up once though. Has not come up once. In theory, we have the other living in for matchups where we want to be more in on the effect, but I think that the living in maybe doesn't need to be in the deck. Although also like it doesn't kill your Phoenix Fleet airships while they're still vehicles. It lets cards at discharge, I guess. Yeah, let's go ahead and just flare. All right, so they got 1 card in their hand, doing well against basically every. They didn't just want to see if they drew Flage next turn. Great. Good. What were my other 2 cuts? Did I trim Overlord? Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe the Living In is like good game 1, and the other sweepers are better in sideboard games. Maybe it's just not good in general. I think I'm gonna trim a Freebooter instead of an Overlord this time. I think I trimmed an Overlord last time. Oh, the flares. I was cutting the flares, right? That's right. I don't like the flares very much, but I think I was leaving in a Living In. The Living In just seems like a lot of times it's just a dead draw, and it's not like Culling Ritual is gonna be like the better sweeper most of the time off the Beseech. So I'm gonna play 1 flare, 1 Thoughtseize on the draw, and then think more about if we want to have Living End in the deck. But I think it is like maybe better in game 1s, and then you want to lean less. It's like more generically good, and then you bring in like the better sweeper here. Not sure. Okay, it could be a turn 3 airship. Guided Shoal should have had 1 toughness. Yeah, Living In bad against bombardment for sure, Z's. We were dead on board if they drew a land that turn with 0 outs. Not that last game. Where they had nothing, right? I think I'm misunderstanding something. Another airship? I guess we don't want another airship. I do want that. So that lets me airship and trigger it next turn, even if both my Bowmaster and the token die. Yeah, another Boros, but it is nice that we have been beating up on Boros so far, at least with the changes. Yeah, it does seem like you almost always get airship with Beseech, but that's also like a really good sign for the power level of the card, I guess. I think I am targeting the guide, although they're going to kill the Bowmaster in response to this trigger. But targeting this means if they don't discard 2 spells, I have the block on the Guide of Souls available. Although they do discard 2 spells. So 3 cards left in their hand. Might get run over on the draw. Oh, they kill my token. Okay, good play. Although we can still airship. Kind of wanted to keep the Freebooter in hand, though. I'm going to say no to that one. Has Overlord been good? I think so. I mean, like the main thing is that it's another like good thing to cast off tower that also is like fodder for Beseech, and it's good with Beseech living end. I think it's good. Like if Overlord's not good, I think we've got some big structural issues to the deck because it kind of has to be good. I think for you to have enough like stuff to ramp into your like your million treasure token Phyrexian Tower stuff. Maybe dead. You know, it's also like a modern staple. It's maybe not that important that it's good to some extent. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm taking 5, 6. Yeah. Does it seem like there's more Boros than the last month? I guess. I mean, it is a little bit weird that there's been this much Boros online, I guess. Um, yeah, you can crew these. They don't just do nothing until until they're online. So I think I kind of have to make you have to make a treasure token here. This way I can cling to dust. You know what? I think I'm gonna get kind of greedy. I don't know if a little greed ever hurt anybody. Should actually just work, right? So I'm gonna let them surveil first. Okay, now I'm gonna go cast Orcish Bowmaster going down to 3. I'm gonna target the cat token. And they have 3 creatures in play, but they're not gonna have 3 creatures in play in a second. I guess they still have 2 creatures in play. But I'm hoping that we can get them to sack their board to kill me. Although I guess the problem with this is if they just play any creature here or Escape Season Pyromancer, I die in response. They're just going to attack. Well, I guess I can't block both because they sack the thing at target. I forgot that they were gonna kill the thing. Yeah. Was there a line? So if I target them with the Bowmaster, we at least have the blocks available. Yeah, I had to cling to dust first, and then I would have been at 5. Yeah. Sorry, too greedy, too greedy. We were dead several ways. Well, the thought I had was that they would just not play around cling to dust, that they would sack their board, and I would cling to dust, gain life, and just immediately win the game. That was the hope I had. But what I just needed to cling to dust first. I thought metal work with weapons you can infinite combo. Yeah, it's it's not even just like those 2 cards plus 0 mana Colossus, right? You need like 2 Colossuses. It's just like a lot of things that seem mostly worse than like an engineered explosives in your weapons deck. I think if they don't just sack their board, you attack and attack you, you're also dead. If they don't just sack their board and attack you, you are also dead. I mean, I think they made the right line. But if we cling to dust them, we were alive. All right, let's keep this. Solar Games is mostly for Belcher. You had 1 blocker, they had 2 lethal attackers. No, I could have Bowmastered. I could have gone on their turn, Bowmaster them. On their turn, Bowmaster them, and crewed both the airships. Okay, brick on the Overlord. But if we're gonna Culling Ritual, this might the Overlord just might flip and take over the game too. They just sack after attacks. No, but I get to block other creatures. I go to 5, but I have 4. They have 4 creatures total. I block the ones that attack. Why fetch with Urborg? I wanted to thin for the Overlord a little bit because we're kind of low on hits. Also, they could have Blood Moon and just like getting the basics in play could be good. They sack and kill Bowman on their turn. It doesn't matter because if they sack and kill the Bowmaster, then you still get to crew the thing and block, right? Do I block to Culling Ritual? No, I think I want to have a slightly bigger Culling Ritual. We have turn 2 Airship, yeah. I don't know the percentage on when it happens. We did it this match, right? Or I guess we could have done it this match. We took a different line. And then we've done it a couple other times. Definitely a complicated line last game, but we could have maybe stabilized. Hopefully we could just get this one and still be 4-0. Why no impin there? Well, I was thinking that I would really often be able to hard cast the Overlord next turn off the Culling Ritual. With them playing Bombardment, it's a lot tougher to do that since they're just going to sack the board and won't get the mana. Do we flare to kill Cat and Guide? Definitely not. We want to use the Culling Ritual to wipe the board. Do I want to play around Blood Moon? Yeah, I guess the Witch's Cottage has already been milled, so there's not really a lot of reason not to. Besides the 1 life point. So we're only getting it 3 mana total if you count the treasure token. They should probably have killed the Shambling Ghast to get rid of the treasure token, although it's not that big a deal. We could impending this Overlord, but probably just better to be able to hardcast it next turn, right? Yeah, I think it's gonna be just mostly better to hardcast next turn. Or the Badger Moles. Well, I thought we'd be playing Badger Mole right now, but we've had literally 3 hours of Airships. This is only our 7th match. I guess that's maybe not. That's kind of on par for the course. But we'll play some more Badger Mole or Owl after this, I think. So 3 cards in their hand. Passes. That's an interesting draw. I guess I did forget. Well, we don't need the Balustrade Spy because we have Slaughter Games. It's like the same thing. I guess it's better if they just have Naked Belcher in play, but Slaughter Games being uncounterable is such a big deal. So we play the Gas, we have a thing for Flare. Any Turtle Duck, Door, and Siege Tower builds? Not super likely, I guess, that we end up redging that combo. Funny enough, this actually kills the Ajani token and the Ajani. This 2-card combo. So if you Badger Bowl your own Phyrexian Tower, sack it to itself, it's 3 mana. That is kind of interesting. So in response... oh, they did destroy enchantment, not the damage mode, of course. Don't think the Flare is getting a lot better than this. So this is online next turn. They've got 3 cards in their hand. Happy to see something that dies to Bowmaster cleanly. Okay, so let's go. Bowmaster. Why not sack the dying Overlord? So I could kill the token also. Ah! Okay, I guess at least we have an Overlord. That hurt. That hurt. Dude, okay, we're top deck. We're in a top deck battle. And they get the first top deck. They just draw land, but it could be a Flage if they have 3rd Surveil land, but they very rarely play a 3rd Surveil land anymore. Okay, so we are just Demonic Tutoring. Probably for Cling to Dust. Could get Overlord. Cling just seems like so... yeah, Cling just seems so good since it can help deal with a Flage. Just gonna hold it. Diabolic. Yeah, we're just cast a Diabolic Tutor, normal modern game. Wait, a Boros player who draws 2 lands in a row in the end game. I've never seen this before. Unheard of. Three lands in a row? I prayed for these kind of days to come. I prayed for these kind of days. Alright, let's get the airship going this turn instead of getting the Trespasser down. Yeah, they do have enough mana to cast and escape. I did notice that. Yeah, we already did the Gamba. I guess we're dead to cast it. We're actually dead to Flage top deck, so maybe I'm celebrating a bit too much here. And not fourth land in a row. Oh my gosh. So I kind of just do need to let me attack first. But I do kind of just need to gain 3 life off the Cling to Dust main phase, so I don't die to Flage. And then I guess I can keep this next turn to kill a Flage that attacks, or for future Flages. So gain 3 life. Diabolic Tutor for Cling to Dust winning us this game is kind of funny. Doesn't Trespasser just block Flage? I guess it does just block Flage. Maybe that was better. I would have also been able to attack with an airship. I guess that was better. You can Cling in response to the first Flage cast? No, because they can stack the triggers to where the damage happens before the Flage getting sacrificed, which means that they can just escape it before you can Cling to Dust the Flage in the yard. There's never a window. And they did top deck the Flage. But we get to now Fatal Push and Exile with Trespasser. We're gonna go down to 2 life, then up to 3. We have, I think, yeah, we just always die to another Flage anyways because they can play an escape again. Oh, we just didn't need to main phase the Cling. Sure. And I guess would we have been able to push? I guess we would have been able to see the push and just push. Yeah, that was just sorry. Duh. Okay, well, if they have 2 Flages on top of each other, fair enough. They have Arena of Glory, so let's just leave the. Oh no, we're gonna have the creatures online. These are gonna be online as creatures. So dead to top deck Flage. I guess a Wrath Disguise could also be over there. They are hasting something with Arena. Maybe it's a Seasoned Pyromancer. Okay, it's not a Seasoned Pyromancer. They would have cast it already. All right. So we're 4-0. I think we're going to play both these last games better, but Airship has been really good. This league specifically, it's been beating up on Boros and Jeskai, which it kind of has to do for you to want to play this card, but been very good in these matchups. How did you make so many copies in one turn? Yeah, that's what's good about Airship, is that the token copies make copies of themselves. When I read this card, I reread it like 3 times. Like, wait, the tokens make copies of themselves? And I was like, I kind of couldn't believe it. I kind of couldn't believe it. Like, just, I think our modern players, we see a 4-mana vehicle that's black, and we're like, okay, let's read the next card, but it just does it so much. Have you ever cast Live Again? Seems ambitious. Well, you get it off Beseech. I think it's better game 1 than Culling Ritual, but that might not be right. Alright, mulliganing. It's really good to sack Overlord to Beseech and cast Live Again. Okay, we're on a bowl to 5. Let's keep. Top deck of Phyrexian Tower. Yeah, it's so hard to put back an Overlord on the bowl to 5. Okay, Flare of Malice, nice against the Leyline Scion stuff, maybe. Nullifier could be cool in the Aang deck. I'm a big fan. Seems like it might be awkward because they'll just cast the spells from exile, and you can't nullify them anymore. I think Cabal Therapist is a really bad card. It just doesn't do anything until the turn after you play it, and then, or it never does anything until turn 3, because like you just can't on turn 2 ever utilize it. As something I dislike about it. So unfair. I mulled a 5. They surveil Flage in the yard. Yeah, I don't know about Nightmare. Nightmare could be okay though. I don't hate it. I might end up upkeep Flare of Malice depending on what they do to try to surveil until land number 4. Bricking on the Overlord definitely not a good method for unmulling to 5 here. Seems like maybe they have like a Stubborn Denial, which is going to be good against my hand. Maybe they're going to consign the Riddler. I do not think Riddler is good in Zoo. Oh, our top card was Tower. Oh, that's a bummer. Although we're gonna go upkeep, Flare, try to scry into land. I guess end of turn versus upkeep didn't really matter. A little late to the party, but we'll take it. Definitely not a bad draw. Does feel like we're just gonna lose to the Flayed Surveil again. We'll see. Would you say Riddler is still the best creature in Modern? Maybe, yeah, maybe I would say that. Maybe Primeval Titan's the best creature. There's definitely a few cards you could nominate for best creature in the format. Riddler would definitely get nominated, and then it would be a very political campaign, you know. Vote for me, best creature in Modern, Quantum Riddler. Another Riddler. Like, Riddler consigned Riddler is just not that good compared to Ephemerate Riddler. Alright, need to draw a fetch land, 1 mana creature, Bowmaster, Overlord. We'll take it. Frog Banded Legacy. Well, it's a lot better in Legacy than it is in Modern, for whatever that's worth, with like reanimate Wasteland, Force of Will, Days. The answer is probably Solitude. I don't know. It's like pretty hard to say which one's the best. We built a 5 this game and missed our second land drop at least once. So they have a Rita Flage, but they don't have the last card in the exile to use it here. Are they going to binding one of my airships? They do. So this last airship in my hand might come in really handy then. They have 4 cards in their hand after this. They attack me for 4 down to 15. Skittles with the 59 months. Thank you so much. So this is another Flage. Should kill the Bowmaster. So we need to draw something. Fetch land, creature again, Overlord, all really get me there. 1 mana creature, Bowmaster again. So now they have 2 stupid Flages in their yard, and I can't get both of them. I can get one of them to stop them from being able to escape, maybe. Their hand is Binding Stub. So at the moment, they can't escape the Flage unless they draw something. Opponent not making it easy on me here. If they kill a ship with Flage, the others are not creatures. Well, if they kill an airship on their turn with whatever, you can crew the airships to each other to still have blockers. So that's not exactly true. So they still have Stub and Binding up. But if they binding one of my airships on my turn here, then I'm not going to be able to take that line, yeah. Alright, close to stabilizing on the build of 5. Did not quite get there. All right, seems like maybe we found the living in matchup. I don't know, maybe we just always want only one. It's just so bad to draw. Yeah, I think this the second living in the side. I thought it would be more part of our plan in some matchups, but I just have not really been feeling that way. As far as Flage goes, we have Cling, we have Dreams. How many Trespassers do we want? Bowmaster better against them than usual because they're playing Quantum Riddler also. We could play Push, we could play Trespasser. We maybe have the luxury of just not playing Thoughtseize against them, since we have a lot of answers to Leyline Scion. That's kind of the main reason you play Thoughtseize against them for other decks. But it almost feels like we just don't need to, since we have a lot of answers to Leyline Scion. And then we could trim like a Freebooter and... Well, we have Slaughter Games as our resolve against Belcher I Win card. And it's uncounterable, so I think it's better than Balustrade Spy. I don't love this hand, but I think we can surveil into a lot of very good cards for us. I'm going to keep it. Trim on Beseech because Stubby blows out Beseech. I think it's... you could maybe do that. We have a lot of cards that are good to stub, and it's a bit awkward to have Living End in your deck and then you trim on a Beseech. I think you just kind of have to keep in all four if you're going to have Living End in your deck. And I think maybe we don't need to have Living End in the deck. We haven't cast it once this match, or this league. So looking to something to sack to Flare, because it seems like they kept a Psy on hand, and that's something to sack to Flare. So this could be perfect, where we could go sack Freebooter to Flare, kill the Scion, and then play an Airship and trigger the Airship. Do we really need to play an I Win card against Belcher in current meta? Well, when it's like a tutor target, it ends up being really valuable and kind of free. They're binding my Freebooter. Well, that's interesting. I don't think I'm going to Flare for the treasure token, although it's kind of tempting. I only have one Surveil land. Dang, they really got me. Although, I have a lot of answers to the Scion, and I'll in my hand, and then kind of in the deck too. This would be a funny way to lose the game, just if I just draw only 4 mana spells. The Graver to Wrath the Skies here. I wonder if Despair is better than Malice. Malice, I think, is definitely better in this deck. I don't know. Y'all are always so thirsty for Force of Despair. It being a sack outlet is like huge in this deck. And it's also a removal spell you can top deck against something that's already resolved, which is pretty nice. Alright, so that's a dead Scion. 4 cards in their hand, maybe a bunch of like removal spells. They binding my Orc army, wow. And they dash a Ragavan. A little annoying. Flipping over a Shambling Ghast. Are they going to play the Shambling Ghast? They have 1 card in their hand after this. Probably like a Consign or maybe a Bolt, maybe a Binding. If they're going to use Binding that aggressively, Binding makes sense. So now that they have Shambling Ghast to protect their Ragavan, things are pretty annoying. I guess I'm just going to cast an Airship here. Resolved. Yeah, I think there's a good chance they've got Consign as their mystery card. So it's Ragavan, Consign / Binding / Land / Leyline. And then another mystery card that could be anything. So I'm down to 8. They flip over a Marsh Flats, which would have been an okay top deck for me. Not as good as like a creature, probably. They have another spell. It's a wear tear for my airship. Okay. That could have been the mystery card too. This gets bounced back. Well, I guess we're going to go for the super anemic Fatal Push. Did you know there's a 1-mana ally with 5/2? That's a 5/2 with Leyline in play. I did know that. It doesn't seem like it does anything in Domain Zoo otherwise, and so you probably just don't want to play it, but it's not completely uninteresting. I guess he could also have another Ragavan. It's funny how good the Shambling Ghast has been this game for them. Because of my flare. So that goes back to their hand. So I'm going to go Witch's Cottage back my Bowmaster, I think. I guess it's maybe a little awkward, but then we could also sack whatever they target with the Ghast to the tower to trigger the airship again. So hopefully they don't have a Consign or Wear Tear as their last card. Could definitely. They don't. Can be Ragavan, can be Consigned. Oh my gosh, they let the trigger go on the stack and it was binding. Wow. New cards, let's go. So maybe frustratingly gonna fetch to thin twice, yeah. Do you think Bumble Friendly Fire is a worthy modern card? I think Quantum Energy is interested in playing exactly one copy of it. Which isn't like the most exciting, but I think it's like, oh, they top decked Wear Tear. Alright, so now we're at 5. Draw Bowmaster. Pass back. How many airships do I have left? I have 2 left in the deck, plus the Beseeches. The Shambling Ghast being able to kill my Bowmaster is really annoying. Cannot believe how good the stupid Shambling Ghast has been for them. So they drew Arena of Glory. If they attack, I can Flare of Malice the Riddler. I probably just need to Flare of Malice the Riddler anyways. Have to sack the Bowmaster. I guess it was just better to sack the Bowmaster because now I guess we got my stub anyways. Shouldn't be that different. I can't cling anyways. So I've already surveilled. I guess I'm gonna not attack. Although probably should have main phase the cling. Let's just go ahead and pass. If they play a Flage, I'd rather cling the Flage, of course. Save the fetch land for an airship, I guess. They drew another land. They can escape Flage anyways. Well, I thought that no, they needed this extra. Oh, they have the treasure tokens. Sorry, I forgot the treasure tokens. Nice. Yeah, I think I like being able to sack the Orc army to play Bowmaster to Flare of Malice. Flage, although I guess we're dead to Flage, so let's actually just avoid Flage then. They might have a consign for this ETB. The Shambling Ghast is hanging out the leyline bindings. They play another land. Then they lament their flood. I have drawn all the lands. Should be a lot of spells in the deck then. Can I kill them? This Shambling Ghast has been... But you have Shambling Ghast. Okay, I think the third Bowmaster maybe kills them. They need to shrink one of these, I think. Nice. Okay, so we'll go sack this. And then they go, and then this. Oh, no, I guess they even if they shrunk, they were dead to the third Bowmaster, of course. Yeah, we're attacking for lethal. They needed the Shambling Ghast to live to stabilize, and we win after kind of a weird all 4 drops 3 lands kind of hand. Hopefully we could just have a good 7 for the first time this match for game 3. That would be nice. For the trophy, let's go. Can't believe we're on our second. This is our 8th match today. We're 3.5 hours in. As this league been all flage. We played against Boros twice, Jeskai once, and now Domain Zoo. I can't remember what the other match was. It might have also been a Jeskai or a Boros. It might have been 3 Boros this league. Maybe somebody remembers. Well, keeping this. Oh, Simic Ritual. That's right. That was like the best match we played, and I forgot about it. So they have Ragavan. Do I need to Thoughtseize to... I think I just have enough outs to... Yeah, I think I have enough outs to the stupid Scion of Draco that I don't need to turn 1 Dreams. So I don't think I'm going to super aggressively play the Trespasser. I definitely don't like drawing the extra land. Okay, they have 2 Scions. I can sign a Wear Tear and a Wrath the Skies. They graveyard a Riddler. Hold. They don't have the land. If they attack, they drew Ragavan, I guess. Let's make a treasure. So they drew Ragavan, I'm assuming. Well, let's go ahead and surveil. Again, we have a lot of answers to a Resolve Scion, so it's not necessarily the most anxious card we could be seeing here. Yeah, we'll keep that. And then we just hardcast it next turn. Cast the Trespasser this turn. Do they find the second land on turn 4? It looks like they don't. And they concede and we trophy. Wow. A lot of really, really intense matches this league. One of the best leagues I think we've ever played, honestly. Trophy with Phoenix Fleet Airship. We did go 1-2 in the first one. Although it seems like we would have maybe lost one of the matches if we had Culling Ritual in the side and we swapped for Culling Ritual, and it was really Culling Ritual was really good, so nice to see that. Awesome. Very cool. I certainly wasn't expecting the trophy this fast with Phoenix Fleet Airship. Pay out the believers. We did start with this deck. That was our 8th match. We're 3.5. We're gonna keep playing, but that was like it's been a long, a long 8 matches. They wanted the treasure from Ragavan. Well, I'm just always gonna block. You know, it's not like they get the treasure from Ragavan. Shout out the 10 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Airship was good. Also, like, you know, Airship was absolutely really good. Okay, I think I want to play more Badgermole, but I think Wang Shitong is maybe proving to be the harder card to deck build with. Like, maybe I want to